Hi friends, welcome to our very first diversity and inclusion story time. What we're going to be doing during this time is reading books that have characters or topics that maybe are familiar to you, or about people who look like you, or maybe they're about people who don't look like you or don't sound like you or have different cultural traditions. So it just depends on what your cultural identities are and if you can connect with the characters in the book or the cultures we read about, or maybe it's different for you and you're learning about them. And so this helps us to be caring and accepting of everybody. And so this month, September 15th through October 15th is Hispanic Heritage Month. And so for our theme this month, we're going to be reading some books with Hispanic characters. And so maybe if you're from Hispanic culture, you can connect with some of these things. And if you're not, then maybe you can learn about them, or maybe you know someone who's from Hispanic culture and you'd like to learn more about it. So our first book here is called My Papi Has a Motorcycle. My papi has a motorcycle. From him, I've learned words like carburetor and cariño, drill and dedication. When I hear his gray truck pull into our driveway, I'm outside with both of our helmets. My papi, the carpenter, is covered in sawdust and smells like a hard day at work. His hands are rough from building homes every day, his job since he first arrived in this country. But even though he comes home tired, he always has time for me. When our city is winding down, he takes me for a ride. Today, he's going to show me the new houses he's working on. Papi is careful with my ponytails as he pulls my helmet tight. When he lifts me onto the smooth black seat, his hands don't feel rough. They don't feel tired. They feel like all the love he has trouble saying. So maybe you can relate to this friend here. Maybe you're a girl and she's a girl. Maybe you are from Hispanic culture and she's from Hispanic culture. Or maybe she's different from you. Maybe you're a boy, she's a girl. So you can kind of think about some of the differences between you and the character and the story. Papi revs the engine and the smell of gasoline hits me as he squeezes the accelerator. Con cuidado, be careful. The motor rumbles and growls. Agárrate, hold on. And then we take off. So it sounds like they're speaking Spanish, which might be something, maybe you know a little bit of Spanish, or maybe you know a lot of Spanish, or maybe you aren't sure about Spanish. The shiny blue metal of the motorcycle glows in the sun. The sun, the bright orange sun is on its way down, turning our sky blue and purple and gold. We become a spectacular celestial thing soaring on asphalt, a comet. The sawdust falling from Papi's hair and clothes becomes a tail following us. Papi zigzags through the streets. We pass Abuelita's church and Tortilleria La Estrella and stop for stray cats crossing in front of us. Mommy thinks there's too many of them, but I think there's just enough. We pass Joy's Market where Mommy buys my gummy bears. Mr. Garcia, our librarian, is walking out the door and nods at us. We nod back. This is how we always greet each other. That's fun. I had a connection to the story. Are you having any connections to the story? Daisy. We roar past murals that tell our history of citrus groves and immigrants who worked them, and of the famous road race that took place on Grand Boulevard 100 years ago. Now I know that we're stopping at Don Rudy's Raspados. So they used to live in a different country, or at least her dad did, and now they live in a new country. But as we near the shop, we see that it's empty and out of business. I can tell Papi is disappointed. I imagine the smell of the sweet syrups Don Rudy used to flavor our shaved ice. I won't be the only one who misses him. As we ride on, I feel and hear everyone and everything we pass by. Each sound landing in my ears rebuilds whole neighborhoods inside me. No matter how far I go from this place or how much it changes, this city will always be with me. Mija! Adios, mi reina. Adios! We cruise by Abuelito and Abuelita's old yellow house, the one with the lemon tree that grew from the seeds of the lemons. Abuelito used to pick used to pick not far from here. Mommy says we're going to visit them tomorrow to cut nopales from their garden and eat herbi albondigas in Abuelita's kitchen, where the food always tastes better. The dogs behind the fence go wild. Frankie, the Lopez's Labradoodle, escapes from her yard and runs after us. Mercedes Lopez, the fastest runner in our class, races after her. They're right behind us. Then, just as fast, the dogs barking and Mercedes and Frankie become a soft hush in the distance. Trabando duro, muchachos? A little bit, not too much. We ride toward the new homes, replacing the last of the citrus groves. The painters, drywallers, and floor layers all greet us, but we can barely hear their words amid the sounds of hammers and air compressors. Even in all that noise, my Poppy's voice touches everything. Around the circle. This is my favorite part. Vamos, Poppy! Faster, faster! On Grand Boulevard, we lean into the curve of the street. I make believe that we're in one of the races that took place here so long ago. It's our last lap, and we have to win. The crowd cheers us on. I feel Poppy smile as I squeeze my arms tighter around him. We fly around the circle. There's the school where we practice soccer. There's the post office where Mr. Charlie takes our letters, and La Panaderia where Poppy buys conchas on Sunday mornings. Here it is, all of our beautiful city. My eyes try to catch everything, but the colors of houses blend into one another. Red, blue, green, orange, pink. She's going so fast. We ride until the blue glow from the motorcycle begins to dim and our comet tail has been left behind on the streets we've traveled. We head home and slowly the engine echoes us back onto our street and then our driveway, our finish line. Mommy and little brother hear the motorcycle and run out to greet us. Mommy waves us in, just like a referee. Poppy and I can't stop laughing. We had a good ride. Through our laughter, I hear a familiar sound. Espados! I think about my city and all the changes it's been through, and all the changes that will come. Chicle y fresa, por favor. But I know that here in our little house, there are things that will always stay the same. Mañana, we fly again. That means tomorrow we fly again. Our next book is a little bit different. This one is a non-fiction book, which means that so that was a fiction book where it was a made-up story, but this gives us some information about one of the holidays, Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead is here. Skeletons and colorful calaveras smile out of windows. People wear face paint, they play music and dance in cemeteries. It's Day of the Dead. This holiday honors the dead. Families welcome spirits back home. They celebrate death as a part of life. It is a happy time. So, in Spanish, this is called Dia de los Muertos. Mexico and other parts of Latin America celebrate this holiday. They call it Dia de los Muertos. The United States also enjoys the holiday. People in Mexico started to honor the dead thousands of years ago. They had special months to remember the spirits of loved ones. Today, the holiday combines old traditions with All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day. These Christian holidays also honor the dead. Day of the Dead is on November 2nd. Children who have died are often remembered the day before. People clean graves and decorate for the celebrations. Ofrendas are important to Day of the Dead. People create altars to hold candles, photos, and belongings of the dead. Families offer water and food to the spirits. Bread of the dead is a common offering. This sweet bread is often decorated with bone shapes. Sugar skulls are also popular. Bells ring to call spirits to the festival. People burn incense and put flowers on graves. They are happy to remember the dead. So that's just a little bit about a holiday that might be celebrated by someone who identifies with Hispanic culture. This one is a fun little book. It's Mother Goose, but it's called La Madre Goose, and some of the poems are a little bit in English and a little bit in Spanish. So whereas some of the words in this My Poppy Has a Motorcycle book, some of those words were in Spanish as well. And so that was all a story about one character and one family. But this one's going to be some nursery rhymes that have different characters and things like that. So you might recognize some of these nursery rhymes. This one's called Maria Had a Little Oveja. So you might recognize that as Mary Had a Little Lamb. So it's going to be a little bit different and use some different words that maybe you haven't heard of or maybe you have heard of. So Maria had a little oveja. Its lana was white as snow, and everywhere that Maria went, La Oveja was sure to go. It followed her to school one day, which was against the rule. It made los niños laugh and play to see una oveja at school. So there's that lamb with its lana as white as snow, which I believe is the wool. She made the kids laugh and play to see her at school. This one's another one about a sheep. Remember, oveja was sheep. Ba ba black oveja. Ba ba black oveja, have you any lana? Sí, sir, 3 bags llenas. 1 for my sister, una for mi madre, and 1 to be shared by my brother and mi padre. This little cerdo went to market. This little cerdo went to market. This little cerdo stayed home. This little cerdo had roast carne. This little cerdo had none. This little cerdo cried oink, oink, oink all the way home. Three little gatitos lost their mitoncitos, mittens, and they began to cry. Oh, mommy dear, we sadly fear our mittens have been lost. Lost your mittens, you gatos malos, then you shall have no torta. Meow, meow, meow. The little gatitos found their mitoncitos, and they began to cry. Oh, mommy dear, see here, our mittens have been found. What? Found your mittens? You gatos buenos? Then you shall have some torta. Purr, purr, purr. Peter, Peter, Calabasa. What do you think Calabasa is? Peter, Peter, Calabasa got a wife for his new casa. Casa is house. When she saw the round casita, she repainted it. Bonita. Maria, Maria, without alegria. Maria, Maria, without alegria, how does your jardín grow? With silver campanas and conchas blancas and señoritas all in a row. Ooh, Little Miss Amaria. Miss Amaria sat in her silla, eating her beans and arroz. There came a big araña that was very extraña. She screamed in a very loud voice. Young Juan Ramon sat in El Rincon, eating his green guacamole. He put his dado, pulled out a tomato, and said, "Bring me rice and frijoles." He wants some rice and beans. Monday's Niño. El Niño de lunes is fair of face. El Niño de martes is full of grace. El Niño de miércoles, full of woe. El Niño de jueves has far to go. El Niño de viernes is loving and giving. El Niño de sábado works for a living. But the child that is born on Domingo Day will be un toreador. Olé! 1 potato, 2 potatoes. 1 potato, 2 potatoes. 3 potatoes, 4. 5 papas, 6 papas, 7 papas more. Little boy azul. Little boy blue. Maybe you recognize the word azul. Little boy azul, come blow your horn. La ovejas in the meadow, la vacas in the corn. Where is El Niño, who looks after the sheep? He is in the haystack, fast asleep. Old Madre Rosario. Old Madre Rosario went to El Armario to get her poor dog, un hueso. But when she got there, El Armario was bare, so she gave her poor dog un beso. She gave him a kiss instead of a bone. The Itzy Arañita. The Itzy Arañita climbed up the water spout. Down came La Lluvia and washed La Araña out. Out came El Sol and dried up all the rain, and the Itzy Arañita went up the spout again. What are Las Niñas made of? This is a nursery rhyme that I haven't heard of before. What are Las Niñas made of? What are Las Niñas made of? Azúcar and flores and all los colores. That's what Las Niñas are made of. Look at all those colores. What are los niños made of? What are los niños made of? Culebras, caracoles, and jumping frijoles. That's what los niños are made of. Hey diddle diddle. Hey diddle diddle, El Gato and the fiddle. La Vaca jumped over La Luna. Where's La Vaca? There he is. El Perro laughed to see such a sport, and El Plato stole una fortuna. Twinkle, twinkle, small estrella. Twinkle, twinkle, small estrella. How I wonder why you're bella. Shining high, you're so vibrante. In the sky, un diamante. Twinkle, twinkle, small estrella. How I wonder why you're bella. And our last one. I see La Luna. I see La Luna. La Luna sees me. God bless La Luna and God bless me. All right, so we are all finished with our very first diversity and inclusion story time. I hope you enjoyed those stories and could maybe connect with some of the characters, and or maybe you learned some things about the characters that you didn't know before. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next month.